Hi, I'm Trish, and today we're going to make some roll bars. I love the roll bars, they're ever so simple to make. My kids love them, and they're great for taking on the road, on long journeys, and especially on long haul flights, which I'm just about to do. They're very, very easy, just requires a little bit of preparation to begin with. I have soaked some dates last night, and I've also soaked some organic apricots. Now you can use the water that you do soak your fruit in as opposed to your nuts. The nuts have the enzyme inhibitors in the water, so you don't want to use that water, but you can use the water that the fruit is in. Now what I've done is I've pre-blended 1 cup of dates that have been soaked, a little bit of the water just to give it some movement, and a tablespoon of cacao. So that's in there now, that's ready to go, which is delicious. I also added, for the first time, I've added 1 tablespoon of tahini. I've never added that to my raw bars before, but I thought maybe it will give it a nice nutty flavour and give it a thickness. Now I'm also going to add some almond meal. Every time I make almond milk, I have leftover almond meal, so I just keep that in the freezer. So I'm going to add that today, which is a good use of something else, and that's handy. And I'm also going to add a cup of my super seed mix, which is poppy seeds and sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, millet and buckwheat and coconut and raisins, and yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm going to add a cup of that as well. Now the consistency that you're looking for is fairly thick, not quite as thick as dough, and not quite as runny as, like you're almost looking for a biscuit consistency. Now it is handy if you do have a dehydrator. If you don't have a dehydrator, I've heard that you can put it in an oven on the lowest possible setting with the door open. I haven't tried it, but I have heard that people have tried it and it works perfectly okay. So in this mixture, as I said, I've got a cup of dates, a little bit of the water, and a tablespoon of raw cacao, and a dessert spoon of tahini. And then all I'm going to do is mix in some almond meal. And I want to get that consistency that is quite thick. Now you can add anything you like to this. I like to add cashews when I have them, or Brazil nuts. And I like to grind the nuts up in a variety of consistencies. That way you get crunch as well, which is quite nice. Now that mixture is already quite dry. Okay, just mixing all that through. And now I'm going to add a cup of this for texture. As you can see, I'm very accurate in my measurements, very scientific in my approach. A bit of this, a bit of that. This is what I already have to hand. And every time I make my raw bars, they end up being slightly different. Sometimes I make the most amazing raw bars and I think, oh, what did I put in those? So there we have it. That mixture is ready to go. I think I'm going to just put a little bit more of this in, give it that nice texture. And this is how easy and simple it is. The time, it takes 24 hours in the dehydrator, but that's okay. You just turn it on and leave it and come back to it the next day. Okay, so that mixture is, it's a little bit moist, but it is almost just the consistency of dough, but a little bit more moist than that. And now I'm laying this out on my Teflon sheet for my Excalibur dehydrator, which is one of the best kitchen utensils, equipment I have ever bought. I love it and I use it a lot, and it's a really good thing to have. But any of the dehydrators on the market will do the same job. Okay. Now what we want to do here is spread this around, and I like the thickness of the naked raw bars. I think they're lovely. My kids love them as well, so I try and sort of imitate those. And so spread this around until you're getting a nice square shape that is about 1 centimetre thick. Now if your mixture is really sticky, sometimes depending on what you put in it, your mixture can be really sticky. So You can have a big glass of water that you can dip your spatula in, which helps just keep it all off the spatula. Otherwise you could be spreading this around quite a while. There we go. And then I just square it off so it looks like something that's a bit more from the shops, which my kids tend to love. And the last thing you need to do is score it before you put it in the dehydrator, which helps it dry out. There we go. Which helps it dry out, and which helps it, dry out a little bit quicker. And also, if you forget about it, then you've already got the shape that you desire. There we go. Scoring that. And the other way, do the same. Now, some of my various combinations, some of the ones that have worked really well, apricots go really well with ginger and coconut. Cacao goes really well with date and cashews and almonds. Ginger is also nice in the cacao. But, have a bit of fun. Mix it around a little bit, see what you like. And there we go, that's ready to go. And that's into the dehydrator for 24 hours. Dead easy. Enjoy.